It's finally time for a new adventure. I'm on my way to explore the roots of karate, the martial art that I've been practicing my whole life. But this time, I'm not going to Japan. Don't get me wrong, we all know that the Japanese island of Okinawa is the birthplace of karate. I've been there a dozen times already, getting my butt kicked from living legends of the art. But now, it's time to fly further back in history. Back to before the word karate even existed.
Hi, I'm Jesse from KarateByJesse.com, also known as the Karate Nerd, and I'm in China to rediscover the lost roots of karate.
Follow along an epic adventure to rediscover the lost roots of karate as Jesse Enkamp uncovers the ancient source of karate's kung fu connection. This is what the history books never told you. You're watching Karate Nerd in China.
Modern karate is actually less than 100 years old. Because originally it was called Tode. That's what all the old masters said before it was modernized in 1936. Before there were different styles, tournaments, uniforms, and belts. Tode literally means Chinese hand. In other words, if you practice karate today, you might actually be practicing a form of ancient kung fu without even knowing it. I know, it sounds crazy, which is why I've traveled to Fujian province to explore the southern kung fu styles that influence the roots of karate. By cross-comparing different sources and experiencing hands-on practice with grandmasters of traditional kung fu, I'm hoping to uncover what the Okinawan pioneers discovered when they created the art of karate.
Day one in China. Wow, I am actually here. This is what it looks like. Like a few weeks ago, this whole trip was just a crazy idea in my head. And now we're actually here. Guys, I'm gonna be traveling around training with different masters of various kung fu styles that go back in history and connect to the roots of karate. And I'm gonna share everything with you. Like, how insane is that? The only problem is I actually don't know anything about this place. I don't know how to do it, where to go, who to meet, or I'm lost. Which is why I contacted the biggest kung fu nerd in all of China, and he took an 8-hour train ride just to come here and help us out. Let's go meet him.
The dude sitting on that chair is named Will. He's a British bloke who's been living in China for the past decade to study kung fu. His biggest passion is to travel around China to talk and train with kung fu experts. Will's job is to help me film the trip and translate what the old masters are saying. The only problem is, neither of us have ever been to southern China before. That's why we need a third person to help us find the right masters. That person is Alex. Alex is the secretary of the local martial arts federation, which means that he knows everyone. And today is my lucky day, because he's organizing a special demonstration of kung fu that I'm invited to. Apparently, this will be a good introduction to the Chinese martial arts for me. As an outsider, I have no idea what to expect, but I'm trusting Alex and Will to guide me on this journey. And then it starts. This is not what I expected. Turns out it's just a bunch of kids doing wushu, you know, the modern acrobatics. Don't get me wrong, it's very impressive and entertaining. But this is not what I came for. I'm looking for the traditional stuff. Suddenly, the music stops, and a practitioner of White Crane Kung Fu enters the mat. This dude is moving in a completely different way. That's when I realize it. I'm watching Neipai, or Nipaipo as we call it in Japanese, one of the most advanced forms in karate. I literally became the Nordic champion with this exact kata. It's one of my favorites. But this version is so much more complex. The way we do it in karate is very minimalistic in comparison, or, dare I say, simplistic. The rest of the demonstration was basically more wushu again, including some weapons, some ladies doing Tai Chi, and the reincarnation of Bruce Lee. Plus, a weird style of kung fu called incense shop boxing. But I didn't care about any of that, because I had already hit jackpot.
Wow, I can't believe I've already been exposed to one of the most important kung fu styles in the history of karate. I am so excited to learn more about White Crane Kung Fu.
2 hours later, it's time for lunch at Alex's dojo. For some reason, I have the great honor of sitting at the master's table. If this is what lunch looks like in China, I think I'm gonna stay here. And this is the most famous dish in the city. A fish ball with a meatball inside. So good. And then it happens. One of the masters from my table hears that I'm a karate nerd. So he invites me to his dojo to, I quote, play some kung fu. Turns out I hit the jackpot again. You see, this is no ordinary old man. This is Master Yu. He's been practicing White Crane Kung Fu for 70 years. His style of White Crane is called Ming He, or whooping crane in English.
I have no idea what's about to happen, but we're gonna play some kung fu.
Yeah, you can see it still.
1852年
According to Master Yu, this is the style that many of the historical karate pioneers learned when they came to China.
他这个拳击的手很有力量。
Apparently, the founder of White Crane was a woman. For this reason, it doesn't rely on using brute force. Instead, you must find a different angle where your opponent can't leverage his power. Only then can you overcome a stronger opponent.
你这个给他拿着，
Okay, hold this.
哎，你这个帮人在这。
Yeah.
哎，OK， 来打。
It hurts there. Yeah.
哎呀！
Yeah. So that's the right angle.
对，
Yeah. Yeah.
那一脚就上去了。哎呀！
Yeah.
这之后是最
White Crane combines soft circular movements with hard straight movements.
这样。
Okay. Yeah.
But strangely enough, the classical straight karate punch is almost never used. Instead, they prefer open-handed strikes or forearm strikes with the ulnar radius bones, or heaven and earth bones, as they call them in Chinese.
To the face also?
No.
Yeah. Like this? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
1, 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Do they use any kicking techniques also?
他在问你们的腿法，
啊，
腿法，腿法。
腿法是这样的，
Yeah. Like a tripping.
The funny thing is, Master Yu thinks he's teaching me Kung Fu, but all I'm learning is karate.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Block, block.
Because this is a technique that we see a lot. Yeah. Very good. Thank you very much. Very interesting. Thank you. Wow.
I'm sorry.
No.
After a well-deserved tea break, Master Yu invites us to his home to show us his latest innovation.
Take off my shoes, right?
Yeah.
A hanging fish.
I have long years. Long years.
Made out of wood that you use to condition your forearms. Apparently, this is what old Kung Fu masters used hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
OK，
Wow.
它这个是很香的木头，好木头。
是什么木头？
来，闻闻看。这是中药。
What does it smell like? What do you think?
I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
And then it happens. The moment I had been waiting for. The unspoken test. You see, every time I've visited a karate master, they test me. Not necessarily my physical skills, but my character. Because they want to see if you're worthy of going further. Did I pass? We will never know. But moments later, Master Yu takes me to his private room and shows me something that blows my mind. A copy of the most important karate book in history that he rescued as a little boy when the communists burnt down his father's belongings. That book is the Bubishi, or Wu Beiji as it's called in Chinese. An ancient manual of combat, secretly passed down for generations. The old masters called it the Bible of Karate. I couldn't believe my eyes. Neither could Patrick McCarthy, the Western world's #1 karate researcher, who's dedicated his life to studying the Bubishi.
Bubishi is a very classical indicator of times long gone by, and because it is the only one written source that is extant today, which just happens to be from the same era as was the transitioning metamorphosis through which these Chinese practices and Southeast Asian practices metamorphosize into being what would ultimately become karate, is no coincidence. It's part and parcel of what it is. You can tell that is the original Bubishi right there. And that my presentation is almost verbatim the same as that.
According to the Bubishi, 2 specific kung fu styles influenced the creation of karate. The first and most famous one is White Crane Kung Fu, and the birthplace of White Crane is a village called Yong Chun.
You're not any particular style. You are just the progenitor result of years of transition. But you know this is the place. And I think that's what you're going to see in Yong Chun.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Hope to see you again.
It was time to stop relying on luck and start relying on facts. If I wanted to trace the roots of karate, I needed to follow the Bubishi and travel to Yong Chun. But first, Master Yu wanted to teach me one last thing. This is the Crane Temple. It's 7:30 a.m. and I've been promised to learn the essence of whooping crane kung fu. They call it Babulien. In the local dialect, it's pronounced Papuren. And yes, it shares both name and movements with the modern version you see in karate tournaments. Alex lights incense and prays to the Crane Temple. And then my lesson begins. Overlooking the Crane Valley, where all the white crane kung fu practitioners used to live in the old days, I am learning the most important form in the style. The secret lies in the breathing pattern, which regulates your muscular contraction and relaxation. These movements are then translated to real-life fighting applications.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure what impressed me the most. Master Yu's knowledge, enthusiasm, or patience.
Together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Needless to say, even though we practiced for hours, I'm pretty sure we only scratched the surface.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
谢谢老师，辛苦了，辛苦了。
这是一些基本的。
As I wave goodbye to the Crane Temple, it dawns on me that I'm literally walking in the footsteps of the old karate masters. All I have to do is follow the Bubishi. And right now, it's telling me to visit Yong Chun, the birthplace of White Crane.